Hey guys, Marsningan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so yes, every anniversary always brings a new mechanic to the game. On Global, we've often gotten that early, things like active skills, transformations. Usually on JP, they drop with the anniversary, but Global has, in the past, gotten access to them a little bit sooner. But this was not the case with this year's one, so the 6-year anniversary, we are getting support memories. So this is a new kind of item. The UI for your item selection screen has finally changed. We thought for a long time, for those old school players, we constantly wondered about if and when they were going to open those last 2 item slots, because it always seemed really weird that they designed the UI to have those 6 slots, and then obviously when you're a new player you only have, is it 2 or 3? And you have to open the other 1 or 2. I actually can't remember if it's 2 or 3. But the last 2 were just locked forever. And finally they decided to introduce a new system and just get rid of those 2 forever. Obviously we're seeing events and stuff come out now which are actually restricting you to not even being able to use 4 items. And even when modes like Super Battle Road came out, and as hard as they were when they first dropped, there was a lot of talk about the fact that if they did ever open up those slots and give you access to 6 items, even some of the harder events would just become way too easy. So obviously that was forever scrapped, and we now have the new layout. This of course we do now have on Global, we just don't have the actual support memory items in the game, but they've already gone ahead and updated the UI. So obviously if you've played the game at all since the last update, you will have seen that that is now present in the game. You just can't actually equip anything to it, unfortunately. So it is basically an item that you equip before any event, just like you do with any other item in the other 4 slots. You pick out of all the ones that you have available to you. Once they get unlocked, you have to collect a certain number of the fragments of it to complete it, and then that gives you access to it forever. Some of them will drop from missions, some will be login rewards. We've seen with JP pretty much ever since each celebration that's come out since the anniversary has given a new support memory. So one really interesting thing to think about for Global is how they are going to implement that, because the shared celebrations that we've had, Saiyan Day got a support memory. The GT Super Saiyans Dual Dokkan Fest got a support memory. So when these release on Global, are they going to make those available straight away, or is there going to be some other way that we get them? Because like I say, the events that they came with have already been and gone on Global, so it'll be very interesting to see what they do with those. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and of course if you do find the video useful at all, make sure you smash that like button and do subscribe to the channel if you are new. But moving on, so once you have it unlocked, you can equip it like an item, but then to actually use it, it requires the use of these film reel items. So each support memory has a different cost, and you can only hold up to 200 of each of the film reels. So there's red, yellow, orange, blue and green. And these will correspond to the different support memories. They match up color to color, so obviously to use a yellow support memory you will require a certain number of yellow film reels. It is, like I say, different per support memory. And then when it comes to farming these, you can buy them from the barbershop. I don't know how often they're going to be in here, because this seems to be on tab 1, so this is like the normal shop. I don't know if these actually do appear all the time. They probably do. Or even if they're random, obviously you can just top them up as and when you see them in there. And the important part is they drop from any event. So I did double check with some JP players before making this video, and yeah, they should drop from any event. It can be random, the types that you get. You can run the same event back to back multiple times, like say you're doing a Dokkan Fest to awaken a new character, and it can essentially drop different coloured ones every single time. Now the thing that it does mention here as well is that, like I said, you can only have up to 200. If you exceed the upper limit, it will be discarded even if you get it with a clear reward. So this screenshot here, where the person has received a bunch of yellow ones, if you already had 200, you just won't actually get these. If you had like 198, you will only get 2, and then the rest will be discarded. So it does say here, actively use the support memories, so you're not just sat at 200 of each type forever. So this is going to be something that's going to be very useful for people who like to grind link levels. It means you can have a session of doing some of the new events, maybe doing some Super Battle Road stages, running some teams through the GT Goku event, use like a support memory of each color while you're doing that kind of stuff, and then yeah, go off and do some link leveling as you would normally, and chances are you're going to top up all those reels fairly quickly. So for people who link level a lot, I can see myself being at like 200 of each type pretty much all the time. So now the one thing I thought I'd mention, this is kind of just as a joke, but obviously people do like to no items things, to do no items runs. I mean, it's, you know, part of the reason why this channel has some of its acclaim for the Super Battle Road runs. These do technically count as an item, so anyone who is curious, you can't use one of these and then still call it a no item run afterwards. That's like the general consensus of the community. But obviously most people don't care about that kind of thing. I just thought it'd be funny to mention, because yeah, you can't, don't anyone tweet me a no item run of like ESBR but with a support memory used, because it doesn't count. So but yeah, we're going to go over and have a look at some of the support memories that are available. This is the list of every single one that's available at the moment. So like I said, some of these have come out on JP over the last couple of months since the anniversary. Now obviously the ones that are tied to anniversaries that we haven't had yet, I assume they will still just come along with those, but it will depend on what they're going to do with the older ones. So the thing that's interesting is some of them obviously have special effects in battle, but then you have ones like this one. So the Oolong's Wish, additional drop rate increased by 50% in events with a special effect, bonus reward drop increased. So what that means is something like, for example, the Kid Vegeta and Raditz story event. I mentioned that one off the top of my head because I was doing it before the World Tournament started to get copies of Kid Vegeta for his super attack. So that gives you a bonus with Pure Saiyans, and you obviously can get bonus drops of the card or the medals or anything like that. If you use this support memory, it means you will get the additional drop rate increase by 50%. Now obviously if you're one where you're farming a card, you can't get half a card, but it's very possible that that extra 50% will push you over that little bit of RNG roll that you got, so that you actually get like 2 or 3 bonus copies as opposed to 1 or 2. And then obviously if you're farming actual medals, this just increases the amount by 50%. So rather than getting like 6 bonus drop ones, you might get 9. I think it rolls for each stack that you get as well. So this can definitely help you out when you're farming a bunch of stuff. But remember, it is for the bonus reward drops only. So you can't use one of these, go into a Dokkan event to get your like 77 medals for UI Goku, for example. And then it's not going to drop like 10 or 11 medals. It's still only going to drop 7 because that stage doesn't have a bonus drop thing. So make sure to be aware of that. But I think Oolong wasn't necessarily one of the ones that first came out, or it might have come out at the end of the anniversary. I'm not sure if it was one of the original ones. But then we have Frieza's Anger. This was definitely one of the first ones. Extreme class allies attack 15% for 1 turn when facing a super class enemy. So obviously for all those extreme type teams, the transformation boost Terrifying Conquerors, Space Traveling Warriors, movie bosses, all those good like extreme only teams is going to be pretty cool. I feel like this is one that's going to be really useful for Super Battle Road more specifically, because the thing to mention about these as well, which I didn't actually mention earlier, but they automatically activate when the conditions are met. So for this, for example, when facing a super class enemy, it means if you go into Infinite Dragon Ball History, it's going to activate straight away. So attack plus 15% for 1 turn. You don't really need that in turn 1 of Infinite Dragon Ball History. You kind of want it nearer the end. So that is a bit of a strange one. I think it'd be really awesome if you could manually activate these, but I don't know if maybe they thought that would balance out to be a little bit too powerful. But because then we have this Videl one, which for global, this should come when the Dokkan Fest Videl comes, which should be the first Dokkan Fest after the anniversary. Majin Buu Saga category allies key +2 for 2 turns from the start of the battle. So again, imagine how crazy this would be in Super Battle Road. There's a lot of stages where you can run the STR Goku and Vegeta and their team, like super class only. Obviously when Battle of Wits eventually comes out, there's a lot of units that are on Battle of Wits and Majin Buu Saga. So getting 2 key for 2 turns is going to be pretty decent for that team, especially with the powerful LRs that are on there. So then we have Pull Out the Tail, which is obviously from GT. This is one of the ones that we get right from the start as well. Super class allies attack 15% for 1 turn when facing extreme class. So it's the super version of the Frieza one, basically. The Para Brothers came out with the GT Dokkan Fest, so again, this is one that could potentially drop straight away, depending on how they're going to do it. Seals all enemies super attack when HP is 88% or more, starting from the 3rd turn. So this is kind of interesting because it allows you to seal the enemies, and it goes off a little bit later into the event. So Super Battle Road, for example, when you're on the 3rd turn, you can seal all the enemies and finish off that fight, because normally Super Battle Road fights you're looking at 3 to 4 turns. You can finish off the fight without getting supered, which is pretty cool. In things like the GT Legendary Goku event and harder things like that, like Infinite Dragon Ball History, there are some stages where you can seal the enemies, 3 or 4 like enemies in, but a lot of them this won't necessarily be effective. So again, this is why you got to be careful when you choose which one to equip. And as you can see on the side, it is giving you the real cost. So for example, you can use this Para Brothers one, 120. You could then use the pull out the tail one on the next event, because it's 70, and then obviously you'd have 10 left. You have to start farming some more. You wouldn't be able to use this one twice, because it just drops you to 80, and then you'd have to farm up 40 more if you wanted to use it again. So the Buller shopping, I think this is another one that came with the GT celebration as well, actually. This is an additional drop rate increased by 85% in events with the... So it's basically Oolong, but better. It costs 120 blue. So I guess realistically, you'd use this one first, and then if you couldn't be bothered to farm up more blue reels, you could then use this one, because the Buller one is the same, just better. And we got Dende and Piccolo, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, physical excluded to physical, and GT Heroes category allies attack and defense 20% for 1 turn starting from the 3rd turn. So obviously this is designed around like physical GT Goku, creating a ton of extra physical key spheres, extra attack and defense. So again, in Super Battle Road, this would be an awesome finishing turn item. And then of course in harder events, it's just going to be a nice little boost on that 3rd turn. And then for green, we've got the Icarus and Gohan. All allies attack and defense 10% for 1 turn when HP is 70% or less. This one's pretty good because in the earlier stages of one of those Infinite Dragon Ball History stages, you should be able to keep your HP above this, unless you get like a surprise super attack on a weaker support unit or something. So this is nice because this can trigger later on when the buff is going to be more useful. Krillin's enthusiastic singing. This is from the Broly movie, so this came out on Saiyan Day for JP. So again, a celebration that Global has already passed. Lowers all enemies attacked by 5% during the 1st turn, 4% on the 2nd turn, 3% on the 3rd turn. Again, this is a perfect one for Super Battle Road because lowering attack is very powerful and it lasts for 3 turns. So it's not the hugest amount of nerf, but that would be very, very good for people. Any stage that you're struggling on in Super Battle Road, this will definitely help you out a little bit. Then we got the Whis, My First Tempura, all allies key 3 during the 3rd turn, so that's really good, especially with LR heavy teams. The Gohan and Piccolo, the Bond of Master and Disciple category allies, attack and defense 10% for 2 turns from the start of battle, so again, very useful if you're running that team or others like it. The Android 18 and 17 Siblings Bond recovers 18% HP, and Siblings Bond allies attack and defense 18% for 1 turn when HP is 50% or less once only. So that'd be very good for the Siblings Bond team, especially with the new like LR Tapion and Tapion combo. That's definitely going to be a very nice one for that team specifically. And then the final one, the Zeno one. This is Universe Survival Saga category allies attack and defense 10% during battle. This lasts for the entire battle. So this is insane if you're using a Universe Survival Saga team, or the reps of Universe 17 because they're mostly all on there. It costs all 200 of the orange reels, so obviously once you use it once, you've got to farm all the way back up to max before you can use it again, but it's unsurprising because it's insanely good. As you can see, when we said right at the beginning of the video, you've got to collect the fragments of these. Sometimes the login bonus ones, they just give you all 100, but these standard ones are 100, as you can see. The Zeno one is 12. You get 1 fragment of these from each of the Gods of Destruction from the new God of Destruction event that's obviously coming to Global as part of the anniversary. I will be doing guides for those, but yeah, each one you beat, you get one of the pieces, and all of 12 are not available until the last part of the anniversary, so you can't actually get this Zeno one until near the end of the anniversary. But there you go, that is all of the support memories. The only downside to them, the designs for some of them are really cool, but they don't have sound. It's a shame that them coming out after active skills. Like, it would be really awesome if they actually had like the audio dialogue and everything. That'd be super cool. But yeah, I did manage to find some clips of all of these, so I'm going to put that here at the end of the video. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Are you excited to start farming these up? Which one do you think seems like the best? And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to use these in some of the harder events. So let me know what you guys think down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.